What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel and welcome back to eFootball. We just got done with a bit of an FC25 grind, and here's what I have to tell you. Over on FC25, I pack Prime Hullet, which if you play FC, you know that is a huge deal. He's one of the best, if not the best, cards in the game. But guess what? One of the big problems that eFootball is crushing FC, and FC's had it for year after year after year and can't seem to fix it. Server lag issues or delay issues or whatever you want to call it, where the game is almost unplayable. Yes, you can get in there, but all the skill goes out the window. It becomes a huge hassle just to get anything done. I mean, shooting, passing, dribbling, everything becomes a chore, and the game's just not fun to play. And then big players like Hullet, because of their larger frames, literally become unplayable. It's the only game of the 3 football games where players literally cannot be used in certain gameplay. Why do I bring that up for an eFootball video? Because eFootball, you turn it on, you play the game, next to no lag. When there is lag, is it a bit annoying? Absolutely, like in any game, but it is nowhere near FC. There's no players that I say, I can't play them in eFootball because of their frame. It doesn't really work out when there's delay. The gameplay's kind of heavy right now. Sorry, I have to sub out Hullet or sub out, Declan Rice or whoever. That is where FC is just totally on another planet as far as exploits or unplayability or whatever you want to categorize that, making the game not as fun to play. I have yet to see anything like that. Yes, I've had some heavy gameplay in eFootball, but for sure the least of the 3 football games. And with that being said, I finally feel like I've mastered the nuances of the game. Now, listen what I said there. I've mastered the nuances, meaning I get it now. As you see here, I'm going through, putting on the different skills for my players. I'm going through looking at the boosters that Ribery has, realizing some players have boosters, some players have skills. You then can play events and add these skills. You can then go in the game, and depending on what skills players have, those players will have those abilities and are better because of having certain abilities. You want to know which abilities your players have so you know which players to use. All of these things are nuances within game. I'm about to get into that and show you in game what I've learned that's going to help me and hopefully help you out that I didn't understand at first. I'd see Ribery, Mbappe, all these different players. I'd look at their stats, I'd throw them in. Didn't really understand all this. You see all the different boosts you can get. It's finally ringing a bell. I've known that Ribery has boosts. I figured that out. And then now I realize all these different boosts, you can actually change them as you go. You can add these skills to different players as you see here. I added dipping shot to Vinicius. How did I get all these training programs? Well, events. And then you can get them with different rewards. Now, someone commented under a video, and they're absolutely right. The rewards are pretty bad in eFootball altogether. Now, this is pretty cool. Adding like dipping shot, you'll see fighting spirit on Mbappe, things like that they don't have. That is cool. But overall, FC, that's where they're crushing everybody with rewards. For instance, you go and you play certain events there, or you get your awards at the end of champs. And for instance, I got a reward for a season pass reward. It was a season pass reward. I got to pick of 3 icons, 88 plus, and I got a prime Hullet. eFootball just has nothing like that, right? Then all the rewards you get for rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eFootball has nothing like that. I wish they would improve there, but I do love where they're going with the different skills that you can add to each player. I have a free-to-play team, so all these little things matter. You never know. Vinny Jr. might hit a dipping shot in one of these highlights coming up, and you might not have been able to score it if he didn't have dipping shot. So getting into the nuances within the game, guys, receiving the ball with the right analog stick has changed everything for me. Now, why is that so big? Because I've known it this whole time. Because you start learning the differences between eFootball and FC and UFL, and the biggest thing with eFootball is receiving the ball and using that right analog stick along simultaneously with your left analog stick. That is essentially equivalent to left stick dribbling for my FC players that are trying eFootball and can't seem to dribble right, because I was one of them. I would lose the ball every time I get it. Not only receiving the ball and knowing which pass you're going to make ahead of time. But on those instances here where like I have space to dribble, I mean, look at the difference in this video. And if you go to my previous videos, any video before this, my dribbling was nowhere near this. And I was missing out on chances like this because I got the ball, would just start dribbling, no touching of the right analog stick, and many times the defense would just steal it away. Receive the ball, right? Start turning with that right analog stick simultaneously with the left analog stick. Then, when you want to start getting skill moves involved, like with a Vinny Jr. or Mbappe or somebody, use L1 and then the right analog stick. Not to mention, go into training and figure out the different moves. Like, I still have to learn the exact moves I want to do, but I know that with the L1 and the right analog stick, you can get pretty nifty on the moves category. But for just the basics, when you receive the ball and you want to dribble like this and you see here those tight little turns, obviously it depends on the player and their dribbling ability too, but no matter who it is, if you want a tight little touch to the side so you don't get the ball stolen, use that right analog stick along with the left analog stick. Then you start adding like hold L1 and flick the right analog stick, and you'll maybe flick the ball up. If you click in on the right analog stick, you might even flick it over the defender's head. I've done that before. Like, there's so many cool little things, and eFootball does animations true to football better than any other game. So once you start learning these things, you start even getting more realistic experiences. Not to mention you have more success on the field because you're not losing the ball every time since you don't know exactly how to dribble, right? You start understanding how to use these different skills players have and how each player is different based on those abilities that they have. Why those special cards are so unique, those epic cards with the not only boosted stats but the boosters on them and the extra skills, right? These things matter because eFootball utilizes the AI in a sense that you have to work with the AI these players have, work with the runs they're making. But I learned another thing to make it more manual for those who still want some control over their players. The super cancel, right? And a lot of this stuff I'm saying, I got to give a special thanks to 3 people. Within stream, John Weaver and Whispers have been awesome helping me along with these different things that I'm telling you that are clicking in my head as I go, right? Different people learn at a different pace. I can't just hear it once and just ignore all the different maybe bad habits I'm bringing from FC that don't come over with eFootball. But John Weaver and Whispers and Galfano Gaming, who also came on a stream, motivated me to even start playing the game on social media. He was so patient that first stream. I can only imagine how bad I was doing, just how far I've came along, and I still have ways to go. Like I said, mastering the nuances just means I understand the game now, but I still have to get sharper, get better. Higher ranked opponents would still whoop me, so I'm just able to go in, for instance, these highlights you see here in events, and I'm finally able to start controlling games, dominating where I should. It's no longer, I have more skill, which you can tell by the different passes, the different decisions you're making, but I'm getting beat because the opposition knows the nuances, right? The little details to finish off chances, to stop this, stop that. I finally have that part figured out. Now I'm doing things like this, keeping the ball, holding players off, passing, moving. I'm understanding defense, so I'm not just diving in or holding down the pressure button, and a decent opponent, not even good, just decent opponent was able to chop me up. Now I'm able to defend with skill, with technique. I go in with pressure there, I miss, but then I have a backup. I switch off of a player and let the AI, then hold on R1, let the AI attack them as I go and cover a passing lane. Like certain things I wasn't doing before defensively as well as the attack. You see that little receive there by Mbappe? That was due to me using the right analog stick. Instead of just receiving it, holding down the sprint button and pushing the left analog stick in the direction I want to go, and they almost took like a real stiff touch. Even the free kicks I'm getting much better at. Before, everyone was hitting the wall. Now that went over, but I'm just understanding the nuances of how to do each thing. That is a beautiful thing when you figure it out, and it makes it that much more rewarding. So that's where eFootball is on top, by the way. I said it earlier. You turn it on, you're not going to have any type of gameplay that's just so drastically going to change the outcome of a game. FC, it absolutely does. Like a very laggy, very delayed game is going to absolutely throw skill out the window. It may be an opponent you would beat 5-6-0 normally, and they could beat you 4-3, 5-1. It's crazy how the pendulum swings based on the heavy gameplay. You don't have that in eFootball. Next thing you don't have in eFootball. Those who don't like the ping pong quickness, which me personally, I'm not so against. I feel like each game has like their video game aspect. In an FC, it's just that speed of play. Along with the manual defense and that speed, you get very high scoring games, and some players don't like how unrealistic that is. For me, I'm okay with it. It brings excitement. You have to be real quick with your decision making. The football is still great football over there, but it's just literally like I just released a video on this. The gameplay is what kills it. The server lag, the delay, is what kills the good gameplay over there. It doesn't matter how good the gameplay is if the servers are so bad that it ruins it, that it makes all of your commands so delayed that it really is not enjoyable to play, right? eFootball is excellent in that category, right? With servers, with connection, there's no issues. Not to mention, a lot of the players I face in eFootball are not even close to the proximity that they are in FC. I mean, I've played players that are literally as close as in my city, and we still had terrible gameplay, like we were halfway across the world from each other, right? eFootball, you don't have that at all. Even the heavy games here don't feel anything like over in FC or even UFL when it gets bad. On top of that, the gameplay over here, what you get is the players who know the game very well. It can be very frustrating, especially with how OP defense is. However, I can tell you, the faster you start, understanding these nuances, the faster you can make passes and move the ball, the better you'll do against those better opponents. They simply just close you down fast. No different than any other football game where a powerful, a strong, skilled opposition is going to be right on you every single time. It's the same as every game. Now, you can multiply that a bit because that pressure button, as well as the AI pressure button in eFootball, it does give these defenders a huge boost. So you do have to learn that aspect of it. But, again, you learn the nuances. You're able to take those quick touches, and defenders who dive in, they'll go running right past you, sliding right past you, and you'll keep the ball. And when you do need to pass the ball and there's no room to dribble, as you see Ribery scoring a beautiful Trivela right there, as you learn to be quicker with your decision making, learn to have your pass decided before it even gets to your next player, you're going to be great. Then it's just learning about the shooting mechanics, right? Which really in eFootball, it's not too bad at all. As long as the player has these different skill sets in shooting, you don't have to worry about pressing this button or that button. Now, yeah, if you want a chip shot, you can press that kind of button. If you want a stunning shot, which takes a little longer to power up, but it's like the most, I guess, the prettiest shot, or the most powerful, if you will, then you hold R2 and press shoot. But I'm saying if a player has like a dipping shot, that animation will trigger. If they have a Rabona, that animation will trigger. Those kind of things will automatically trigger with the AI attributes that these players possess, right? Because that's really what it is. It's AI animations. You don't manually press the commands for these certain things. On certain skill moves, yes, you press the commands, right? On certain, like a chip shot, yes, you press the command. But, like, if a player has the ability, then it will go off in the game. Like that Ribery, Trivela, I did not press anything other than shoot there. And he did that himself. I think it was a stunning shot, sorry. But that type of shot he did, he has that ability, so it happened in game. So in summary, if you come to eFootball and you don't get it right away, it's okay. It's a unique football gaming experience. It doesn't matter your level in FC and UFL. You're going to have to start from scratch, which is actually the fun part, right? It would be boring if it was all the same. It is so rewarding as you keep leveling up in eFootball, and I promise you, you can get there. I struggled, and I still have a lot to learn. As I keep going up and keep facing better opponents, I'm going to learn more and more. I'm going to get better and better. But there's going to be those tough periods in between. There's going to be those bad habits you have to break that don't translate over into eFootball. But once you get them, it is such a rewarding game. The football is beautiful. The passing sequences, the goals, the realism in the animations. I'm telling you, stick to it. It is worth it. It is super rewarding. Keep grinding. Keep having fun. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.